Excuse me. She's about to get it. Excuse me. We're going to start now. We're going to start the Carlos Taylor and Sarahia Benn campaign. Thank you guys for coming out. You just don't understand how much you mean to some grassroots candidates. Grassroots means we don't got money. We just got fight. We got moxie, and we understand policy. Am I correct? Yeah. And we connect to the people, because that's what it's about. This is a people's movement. This is not a me movement. I'm a people's champ. I'm not a me champ. Okay? So this is why it's real important that you guys continue to pass around the support. I mean, just the next person you see, just think about it. It's 6 degrees of separation. I was talking to a girl that just came in here. She said something about Sam Adams, and I explained to her, I was in one of the original taste testers when I went to college in Boston. Connection. I know that sounds small, but it's a connection, right? I was talking to somebody when I went to the Kevin Kamenetz's town hall in Aberdeen. They were talking about how they hated driving to Baltimore. Every day they were driving to Baltimore, and I kind of mentioned about what happened to my cousin and how he lost his job. He was walking from Aberdeen to Belcamp because the buses didn't start until 7 o'clock in the morning. We are in the most populous area in Route 40, 125,000 people, and we look like we come off of Opie. So we gotta, that's part of what I'm running on. I don't want to get too deep in it, but I just wanted to get your attention. We're going to let every candidate that's showing up an opportunity to speak, and I want you guys to embrace them, because you got to understand, I'm not just running, Carlos is not just running, Lawrence is not just running, Donna and Bud are not just running, Mr. Dion is not just running, Steve is not just running, my friend, Andre is not just running, right? Sue is not just running, Sabra, is she here or is she going? Okay, it's not just running. Mr. Gordon, that's my man. Mr. Gordon has been one of my biggest supporters. So I just want you guys to embrace them all. I'm sorry, who else? I got him, Steven. I know his name. But I used to be, I'm a DJ, so I remember people's names. Don't worry about it. But the point of what I'm trying to say, this is an opportunity for people to understand, this is a movement.
Yes.
This is a movement, but we're going nowhere against each other. And that's been the problem in Harford County. All we've done is I'm going to mine, you get yours. But guess what? That's not going to work. And that's why we got an unbalanced government in Harford County, and people feel completely unrepresented. But we're going to stop that this time, because guess what Trump did for me? I celebrated the day that he won. No, I did. And you can ask Cena. I celebrated the day he won because I said, this is a third Reconstruction. You don't understand. After something as bad and awful as what he's doing, there's always greatness in America, okay? So don't ever think the negative way, think the positive way, okay? So I'm gonna get off this soapbox, and Carlos can choose to go on, okay? All right.
But first of all,
is she running against Trump?
I'm running against the world, man.
Trump lives in Harford County.
He does.
Yeah, about 60,000 Trump. Right? Anyway, we'd like to thank again you for coming out. We know that everybody has a lot to do in their daily schedule, and it takes time and it takes effort to come out and get together like this. And again, give yourself a big hand. Like Sarahia said, we have to work together. Yes. And if we're not inspired, if we're not going to work together, then it's not going to happen. But we become like a fist, right? If we start working together. You can do something with that. I can do something with that. Yep. And so we got to tell our neighbors, we got to tell our neighbors' neighbors, we got to tell our relatives, everybody. Like Sarahia said, we don't have a lot of money. I mean, we're Democrats, right? But I guarantee you, the people on the other side, they're motivated. They have money, but sometimes you can just do it with soul force. And you can do it with love force. And so that's what we have. We know that we're on the right side of the issues.
right.
We know that history is on our side. It's just a matter of, are we willing, are we dedicated to carry through with what we want to do?
Yes, we are.
All right. President Obama used to add the little lady, and he said,
Yes.
right? She said, are we fired up?
Fired up.
We're fired up? Ready to go?
Ready to go.
Fired up? Ready to go? So we got a lot, we got months to carry this out, to make sure we're carrying out our own individual action plan. Right? And also to make sure collectively we're getting together to make sure we inspire each other to keep on doing what we need, what we know we have to do. Now, we have some speakers. They said we all have 1 minute and 2 minute stump speeches. We're not going to go too much beyond that. And so we're going to start with Lawrence Del Prete. And your last name?
Del Prete.
Del Prete. Okay.
Maybe we're gonna get it wrong.
Come over, Lawrence, so you can get the picture. Do me a favor, everybody introduce your name, what position you're running for, and if you can, maybe the slight area that it represents, because some of the positions are only in certain areas, and then go about your business.
Okay, my name is Lawrence Del Prete, and I am running for the Democratic Central Committee here in Harford County. And I would say, in one word, what my platform is activism. I believe that the Democratic Central Committee should be doing more activism, more progressive issues they should be embracing, which I don't think they are. So that's why I'm running. I think there are plenty of things that the Democratic Central Committee can do to help Democratic candidates. That's a given, but I think we need to do more. We need to get more active and get more active with people in the community. The way that I look at this, the Democratic Central Committee is the first step for people that if they have a problem, they have an issue or whatever, they can come to us. And then we can then pass it on to whoever we would need to. But my bottom line is I believe in activism and I believe in action. I've been in politics for 50 years, started in the anti-war movement, and a lot of demonstrations, and believe me, people in the street can change things. That's how we got out of the Vietnam War, is because the country turned against them. After '67, March on the Pentagon, that's the turning point. Actually, it really came after the Tet Offensive in January of '68. But so my bottom line is I'm an activist. I'm going to be out there in the street if I have to. I'm comfortable out there, and I love it.
All right.
Thank you very much.
How do you build a house? And what's the Democratic Central Committee for? It's a foundation. So it's important that we have a firm foundation. So we're having problems with that, and so we need individuals like Lawrence to help that out. And we have Gordon Koerner next.
Gordon.
Hi, I'm Gordon Koerner.
Hi.
I'm running for delegate of the 7th District, which is western part of Harford County and the eastern part of Baltimore County. I'm also running for Democratic Central Committee.
All right. Tell us how old you are, Mr. Gordon, so people can understand you can be inspired no matter what.
27.
I am the young one in the room. I was born March 22nd, 1936.
Yes.
Right. Don't misrepresent us already, man. There's no way.
My platform is going to be on, I want education on why is a gun the answer to your problem.
There you go.
I want an education program. I want to do counter effective against the NRA.
All right.
They think that a gun is the answer to your problem. I don't think it is.
Right.
And then for schools, we're good at getting into this marijuana, and it is going off. There's 5 locations already in Harford County that if they're not built, they're on the way of being built. I want that revenue to go towards schools. Especially for education, teachers' pay raises, funding the schools, and I want to fund the teachers' retirement program. I'm against expelling students.
Me too.
It's a school to prison pipeline. We got so many darn extra administrators in school. I want them to start special programs to teach these children that have problems what to do with their life. So that's where on the school part is where I'm coming. And we have close to 1 million documented citizens and people in this country, in this state rather, that put close to $4 or $5 billion into our economy. And they don't have citizenship. They don't have the right to vote. They don't really have rights. I want to get a citizenship for those people.
Yes.
I want them to be voting. We're putting so much into our state. I believe that they have a right.
Yes.
And I'm short.
Next we have Suzanne Oshinsky.
I don't know how I can follow Gordon. First of all, my name is Suzanne Oshinsky. I'm running for County Council District B, which is part of Aberdeen, Bel Air, and Falston. It's kind of like this, like sliver that goes up. So it's a little bit confusing. You could be like one street over and not be part of it. Well, the reason I'm running is because I have kids with special needs, and we moved here from Frederick County about 3 years ago, and we heard about the great schools. We heard about some of the. We thought that this area was close to Baltimore, had a lot of resources, but we were surprised when we came here to find out that they weren't paying teachers as much as they should be paying. They weren't investing the special ed programs here. We quickly discovered that things like mental health care too. There was a dearth of mental health care practitioners in our area. We were on a waiting list for months. And when we did finally get in, most of them only took out of pocket. So we talk about mental health issues as being so important, but there's not a lot of support for families with special needs. My son, who on the autism spectrum, ended up being sent to a special ed school in Baltimore. It was an hour and a half each day, back and forth. It was too much, and they weren't really teaching him to his level. So I'm homeschooling him now. But I feel like there are a lot of kids who are falling through the cracks. And I'm lucky enough that I can homeschool him, but there are families who can't afford to do that. They have to work. We need a safety net for these families. These kids have so much potential. I know my son one day is going to be like, that cybersecurity guy who's going to, make sure everybody's safe from. He's a brilliant, but they didn't recognize his potential in school, and we need the school system. We need our communities to support families and to bring out the potential of every single member of our community. We all deserve to be able to excel and succeed in our strengths and have help with our weaknesses, because we all have our strengths and weaknesses. And so that's what community is about. So I'd like to create a greater sense of community in Harford County for all of us, where we're helping each other. And sometimes that takes shifting resources to things that are our priorities. I think education is a priority. We need to pay teachers what they deserve so that they don't leave our county. If we can spend $1.2 million on SRO officers, why aren't we increasing school funding for teachers? The teachers are the heart of how we reach our kids and how we educate them to be contributing members of society. I also would like to see the Greene infrastructure plan that's been talked about. I'd like to see that a robust infrastructure plan that also includes moving away the county from fossil fuel dependence. And I think we can do this. It's kind of like a pipe dream of mine maybe, but I think we could have solar panels on every single public institution. We could people like me, we're middle class, we can barely afford our energy costs. So it would be so nice if we could put solar panels on our house, but we can't afford that down, that $20,000 loan that we would put on top of our mortgage. Why don't we democratize the solar power so that our communities are investing in that? They can afford to invest in it, and over the long term, they actually will be able to. It actually will pay itself back because it becomes free energy. So you do have to put that in, but most of us don't have that investment. But at the county level, I believe that we could invest in that, and over the long term, we would actually end up saving the county quite a bit of money. So I'd like to see green energy invested in, and I'm just trying to think if there's anything else really important. I also think our water and we need to keep our water safe and clean. I used to study the water report that I would get when I lived in Frederick County. I haven't seen a water report since I got here, and I live on city water. Transparency in our government. So every single one of us should know what our government is doing for us. Whether it's zoning issues, before something gets approved, there should be a process where it's open to the public. Every single plan or proposal is put out there, is proposed, and you can see it online. You hear about a notice that there's going to be an opportunity for community input. But same thing with water. Where's the report? I think there are some legal issues there with the EPA. They are supposed to be able to tell us whether there's certain substances in there that are detrimental to our health. And that I also believe health issues wise, a lot of the things that our community is suffering from, such as cancer, increased rates of autism, are a result of environmental issues. So we're saving the next generation by putting our focus on that. I don't want to, we don't want to see our friends and family die young from cancer. We don't want to see our children suffer from things that are needlessly preventable. So hopefully you guys will support Sarahia and Carlos, who are amazing activists. They've inspired me. I went out canvassing with him for Allison Galbraith for Congress, and he got me started, and he was such an inspiration. And Sarahia has been she's just got so much charisma when she gets, and she's just, when I first saw her speak, the whole room lights up when she speaks. She just draws your attention. So I'm so excited to hear to support these two amazing people.
Thank you.
So I wish you guys
Of course, we're here to support
That
you
was
too.
wonderful, wonderful.
Absolutely.
And we have Andre Johnson.
I'm going to interrupt you for 1 second. Because I always talk about people that I get to know. Because Andre, to me, is not just somebody who's running for office. He's a friend. Whether he realizes it or not, he will always be my friend, no matter what happens. I met him when we went to see Walking While Black. And he was sitting on a panel, and he said he was a cop, and I ain't gonna lie to you, I had to pause. I had to pause a little bit, but I'm gonna tell you something, he gave me his number, and I don't know if I was so sure I was gonna call him or contact him, but I did. And in contacting him, I found one of the most human, most personable, most kind-hearted, and I don't mean weak, understand, know the difference, persons I've ever met in my life. This guy needs support. He's running in a tough district, just with Mr. Dion as well. So which one wins, I can't say. But I know we need to get behind either one.
Yes.
You hear what I'm saying? Because I was at Mr. Dion's thing yesterday. I didn't even want to get up. I ain't gonna lie to you. But I'm gonna have an introduction for you too. Don't worry about it. But I just wanted to say this. I love him. I love him as my brother. Okay? So go ahead, buddy.
I'm not going to take up any more of your time. I'm Andre Johnson. I'm running for District A. That's Edgewood and Joppatown. I'm just going to let you guys know that I'm for what, this is a democratic room, right? So I'm for, my platform is your platform. That's it. I stand on democratic principles. Now what I'm passionate about is energy, enthusiasm, and excellence. That's what I'm passionate about. Frederick, and I'm going to recycle this. So Frederick Douglass said that power concedes nothing without a demand.
That's right.
And power won't even concede to a demand that's coming from a weak constituency. You understand what I'm saying? So the Edgewood Joppatown area, has 25,000,
25,000, the most in the 40 corridor.
25,000 people.
Yeah.
But only 5,000 people come out to vote.
Wow. All over.
In the last time.
Oh my wow.
So I'm here to energize my community. We have 2 communities, and I'm gonna bring it down to one focus. One focus, and that's energy, enthusiasm, and excellence. We need to galvanize our Democratic brethren, and we need this whole county is red. Why is that? Why is that?
Because nobody votes.
Nobody votes. We need to get out there and we need to energize our brethren out there, and we need to take this county back.
That's
so
right.
that's what I'm here for. I'm here because I'm energized, I've got enthusiasm, and I'm looking for some excellence.
Dion Guthrie.
Okay, Mr. Dion has taught me a couple of things. He's taught me you better make every connection.
President of the United States.
That might be someday. Someday, don't say no to no. But what he's taught me is the connections you make, you must continue to build on. This man has been a county council, for 12 years, and he's running again, okay? So that means he's done some things. And he's going to tell you the things he's done. But what I personally learned from him is the connections. Don't worry. It's the connections. And I'm going to tell you something. He went out of his way to say he's going to try to help me get some labor back. He didn't have to. Let me be honest. And I probably shouldn't be saying it, but he's going to try. He can't create miracles, but he's going to try. And he didn't have to say that to me. So you know, for that, Mr. Dion, I love you forever. You're like my papa.
Thank you. And as right, Andre and I are running for the Democratic position in District A. When Andre was, when I heard he was first running, we met. We were over at Edgewood High School for an event over there, and I went up to him, shook his hand, congratulating him. I said, well, that's what we need. We need some young people to get back into it, young African Americans to get going, and I hope it'll drag that vote out in Edgewood, because it's there's a big number in Edgewood, a big registered Democratic number in Edgewood, and we need to drag that out. However we do it, door to door, whatever's necessary. Edgewood could almost dictate who gets elected in Harford County. You have, Andre's numbers are a little light, I'll talk to you about them, but in Edgewood alone, you have about 26,000 people. And you can draw right from that. That's almost 10,000 more than Joppatown has. And then we also have a little piece of Abington that also, but you can't never get in Abington. They don't let nobody come in there. But they're funny about it. People come from door to door. But I've been on the council for 12 years, from 2001 to 2014. I lost the 2014 election by 1 percentage point of the vote. And as people have talked about, that was the worst turnout for Democrats since 1945. Our worst turnout. They give you a statewide number. This number is just nerve-wracking. But in the state of Maryland, 213,000 less Democrats turned out in that election than the election prior to that. 213,000, over 2,000 in District 8 alone. And those mostly, probably 96% of those 2,000 were Democrats. And that's exactly why I lost the race. My opponent, and I don't know what the dummies in District A were thinking about. I tried to explain it to them. I said, this guy is a Tea Party. He's co-founder for Campaign for Liberty in Harford County. He was a co-founder, okay? You're going to put a guy, if you vote for this guy, you're going to get somebody that will do nothing, because they do nothing. Tea Party does nothing. They don't want anything, they want to spend, but put a pothole in front of one of their houses, find out how to find their phone, and then, or plow my street, it might be entirely different. Well, it happened. and actually, my opponent, Prone, which by the way, is running for county executive. I'm moving out of the county, maybe even out of the state, if that guy got elected county executive. Anyway, just to talk about a couple things, because I was told last night, I had my fundraiser last night, and a number of you were at my fundraiser. I appreciate you coming. He said, now 2 minutes, Dion. But I was on the council for 12 years, from 2001 to 2014. We had a lot of accomplishments. We got rid of the incinerator plant on 152. It's now gone. We got rid of it. We prevented the county from tearing down where Coles is now. They wanted to tear that building was vacant at the time. They wanted to tear that down and build a new incinerator plant there. I stopped it. I got everybody from Edgewood to come out, and we flooded the council chambers. And there were so many people in the council chambers, they had to put TVs outside on the sidewalk so everybody could see what was going on. And we squashed that. And we also squashed Craig's attempt to put a trash transfer station at a Plecker property on Route 7. They wanted to put a trash transfer station there because Craig bought that property, which at the time I didn't know it was in the law, and I got the law changed, that they could spend any amount of money they wanted to buy a piece of property, but they only had to get appraisal on property that the county owned that they sold, but they didn't have to get an appraisal on a piece of property that they bought. I said, well, that's BS. I said, what's that? And I got a hold of the people in the county. I said, well, how can you do that? He said, well, the law lets us do it. I said, we'll fix that. So I got a law passed that said, wait a minute, anytime you buy a piece or sell a piece, you have to get 2 appraisals, and you can't pay more than the highest or the lowest of the appraisal. And that squashed that. But he wanted to put a trash transfer station there, and he paid $2.9 million for that property, and the state evaluation of that property, it was worth 1.1. He was paying off the Pleckers because the Pleckers were a big contributor there to his campaign. So they wanted to pay him off, even though they were retired in Florida. And I'll give you a real quick story about Barbara Plecker, nice lady, Barbara Plecker. She was appointed to the liquor board, and 10 days later got locked up with a DUI. No lie, you can't make that stuff up. You can't make that stuff up. But we prevented it, put an incinerator plant. We've gotten rid of the incinerator plant. Now in Harford County right now, which a lot of people don't realize, there is now not a single piece of trash that's picked up or put in any of our landfills anymore. All the trash in Harford County, you see the trucks going down Route 40, they're headed to Balmer County, because I met with Kevin Kamenetz when I was on the council, and they made a deal that they'll take all the trash on their just right below Joppatown at the next intersection, back in there, that's where all our trash goes. No more trash in Harford County. So, thank you. You got it. But they get a lot of money for it because they recycle it. You know, and they get money for it.
Wini Roche.
Keep your taxes down.
That's fine.
Come on, Suzanne.
Hey, Wini, all you have to do is introduce yourself because people need to know who you are and what you're running for. But if you don't want to speak, you
Oh,
don't.
no, fine.
But you
I
can
just wanted
speak.
to come and support Sarahia and Carlos and just say hi to everyone. I'm Wini Roche. I am running for County Council District F. I am the only Democratic candidate running for District F. So, I'll be going all the way to November. And just been out here working